Hello everybody, my name is Kim and I am the co-host of the Skeptic Psychic. And the Skeptic Psychic is a great podcast where we discuss all things paranormal. I have decided here on YouTube to share some of my own personal stories in the paranormal, as well as some of the others that I've heard growing up along the way. Today I want to talk about the house that I grew up in. This house had a lot of strange things happen in it. My brother Richard, who I do the podcast with, he would see he would see shadow people by his bed at night growing up. When he switched rooms to where my other brother used to sleep, he would see a woman in white, but not just any woman. It was a nun in white, and she would watch over him sleeping. He would refer to the spirit as a calm, relaxing, protective spirit watching over him, and the shadow people in the previous room as malevolent, scary creatures. In his mind, this nun was protecting him from these shadow creatures. I myself would hear strange noises at night. One of the weirdest was, at the time, one of my favorite shows growing up was Three's Company. I just thought Jack Tripper was the funniest thing. And I would think I heard the opening song playing on the TV in the living room, which was not far from my room. I would get up and go look, and the TV would be off, everybody asleep. So I'd go back to bed, and I'd hear it again. Now, a lot of people would think, oh, well, this is just my imagination running wild, and it could have been. I was a kid at the time. I would also hear like little crackling noises throughout the room, and I would think that things were trying to like eat my toys or something. I could never figure out where the sound was coming from. I would turn on the lights and nothing was there. Turn the lights back off, get back into bed, and the crackling would start again. A few years later, my parents decided they were going to get a divorce, and my dad was going off to be with another woman. Things really got crazy at this time. Before my dad and my mom had this discussion, we were having dinner on a Sunday afternoon. My mom had made in a crock pot what we call chili pie or Frito pie. And you know, it's just the Fritos with the chili and the cheese melted on top, some onions sprinkled, and cooked in the crock pot. Really good. Well, both my brothers had gone into the kitchen to get another serving of this Frito pie. All of a sudden, we hear this loud crash. My parents and I go running into the kitchen, and the crock pot container, you know, where the food is kept, was shattered on the floor, food everywhere. My parents assumed that my brothers were fighting over it. They pulled it, it fell, and it broke. They swore up and down to this day the pot lifted off the floor, flew into the wall, smashing and then hitting the ground. Now, I don't know if this really happened because I wasn't there to see it, but both my brothers to this day swear this is what happened. Another time, my mom went to get some plates out of the kitchen cabinets. Again, dinner time. She opens the cabinet and all the plates come shattering to the floor. It could be they were just right up against the edge, and when she opened it, they teetered over. But she swears she put them back in the way they should be. And if they were on the edge, the cabinet would have been open a little bit because it would have been pushing against it. This was not the case. It was closed completely. Another time, my mom had just made us breakfast before school. It was eggs and bacon and toast, and she set the plates in front of each of us. She set the plate in front of my oldest brother, and the plate shattered. my mom and my brother both were freaked out. I was freaked out. I didn't know what was going on. I just know the plate was put in front of my brother. The moment it was set down, it shattered. Now, part of me thinks a lot of this could have been maybe a poltergeist. As many of you know, my mom is very psychic. She was going through a very emotional period at that time with my parents splitting up. So this could have been some psychokinetic energy that was feeding from my mother. It could have been a hex that was put on us. My stepmom at the time, her aunt, she became my stepmom, but at the time her and my dad were dating, and her aunt was what they called a brujeria, which is a Mexican witch. So it's very possible that there was a hex put on us at that time. It could have been spirits that had been in the house for years. It could have been it could have been a mundane, everyday occurrence. We'll never know. But I do remember I was so scared to be in that house during all these times. I always be the first one to get home from school every day. My mom was at work, my brothers were at school themselves. I would get home, go inside, call my mom and tell her that I was home from school, and then I would run out to play with my friends until my brothers got home because I did not like to be in the house by myself. One time I had to get something from inside the house, and I can't remember what it was for the life of me. But I remember I had to go in and get it, and I was scared to go in the house. So my friend loaned me her cross. She's like, here's my cross, it'll protect you. Go in, get what you need, and come right back. So I put the cross in my pocket, I went in the house, got what I needed, came back out, went back to her house, and went in my pocket to give her back her cross, but it wasn't there. 2 months later, I found the cross. Okay, let me just paint this out for you. Here's the front door to my house. We had a porch that went out like this, like here's your porch, and it comes out this way, away from the door. So when I went in the house, I went straight into the house. But I found the cross a few months later underneath some bushes over here by the porch. I never went over there that day. I never even went close to that area, but that's where I found the cross. So when I found the cross, I set it aside and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give this back to my friend. A few minutes later, I went to get the cross and, so I could take it inside and put it away so I could give it to my friend, and it was gone. Shortly after that, we ended up moving because of financial issues. So we moved into another house, which is a story for another day. But yeah, that's a little bit about the house that I grew up in from my point of view. If you'd like to hear more great stories, or you would like to hear some great interviews with some terrific people, be sure you listen to our podcast, skepticpsychic.com. I'll leave the link below. And also make sure you like and subscribe to this video to hear more of my stories and others that I've heard. Until next time, have a great night and sweet dreams. Bye, everybody.